So afternoon we have a test. So afternoon session will be like, first we have a session on yoga for half an hour up to 2:30. After that we'll have valedictory function. After that we'll have test. So the test may start about 3 p.m. and pattern will be MCQs. Yeah, Pradeep sir has joined. So welcome, Pradeep.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome, Pradeep, for today's session.
Yeah. Okay. Shall I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. There
Please.
are 32 members. So today we will be looking into the blueprints of Unity. Blueprint is nothing but the programming language of Unity. Unreal supports two kinds of programming languages. One is blueprints and C++. So today I will be showing you how to make some program using blueprints. So to create a blueprint, what I have to do is, in the content browser, I have to right click in the empty space. It will show me the menus. In the menu, I have to create a blueprint class. Now it is giving me the entire section of the classes. It contains all the classes of Unreal Engine. The mostly used classes are actor, pawn, character, player controller, game mode base, actor component, scene component.
That is, this blueprint is for Unity or for Unreal.
It is for Unreal.
Okay.
Yeah. Now all the other classes are present in the all classes section. Okay. A total of 420 classes are there inside Unreal. So for the basic class, the most basic class is the actor class. So today we'll look into the actor class. Now it is asking me to give a name for the actor. Now it has opened me the blueprint editor. As in Unreal, everything is done inside the editor. So we have our level editor in the background, and this is the blueprint editor. Now in this blueprint editor, we have first is the menu bars. Below the menu bars, we have component shelf. Beside the component shelf, we have the toolbars, and below the component, we have the blueprint, events, graphs, functions, variables. All those things are here. And in the right hand side, we have the details panel. Okay. Now in the work area, which is called the viewport, beside the viewport, we have a construction script. Now it is a constructor. For any classes in C++, we have a constructor. Even in C#, if any programming language, we have a constructor function. This is the constructor function. And the event graph, this is the place where we write our code. The viewport is for viewing what we have done. And the construction script is for the constructor, and the event graph is for the actual script where we'll write our own scripts. So now in the event graph, there are 3 nodes: the event begin play, actor being overlapped, and event tick. So this we don't need. Now in these 2 events, the event begin play, this is a event which will be executed when we start playing the game. The moment we hit the play button, it will start executing this event. And the event tick is for each and every frame. It will run this event. So now, for an example, if I go to my viewport, I can see a small circle. That is the root of this game object. So now in the component section, there is a green color button. In it, it is written add component. So in this add component, I will add a box. Or a cube. Now you can see that there is a cube inside the viewport or the work area. If I compile and save it, Now whenever I drag my blueprint, I will get a box or a cube. So now we will perform some of the calculation according to this cube. So in the event graph, now coming back to the blueprint, my blueprint section. In this my blueprint section, I have all the graphs, which is event begin play and event tick. All the events are here in the event graph. The function, I have construction script function in here, and there are some macros and variables in here. And the last one is all the components that we have in this particular blueprint. We have our scene root and we have the cube. Let's say I want to move this cube. Whenever I hit the play button, the cube should start moving. So what shall I do? First I have to get a reference of the cube. How can I get a reference of the cube? First I have to drag the cube, and first select the cube in the components and drag it inside the event graph. Now I have a reference to that cube. Now in 3D, what we have to do is that wherever I have placed the cube, if I want to move the cube, I have to move the cube in its transformation. That is, inside transformation we have location. This location I have to move. That is, X is for red color, Y is for green color, and Z is for blue color. And in Unreal, Z is up direction, X is side, that is left side, and green is for front. So up, blue is up, red is left, and green is forward. So to move this cube, I have to set its location. So from this cube reference, I have a small circle with an arrow, blue colored circle with an arrow. From there I can drag. Wherever I leave it, it will give me a search. It will give me a search panel. So in this search panel, I will search for location. So I can either get the position where it is in the world, or else I have to set the location. So currently I have to set its location. So I will select set world location. It has created me a set world location node. So now this, it has created me a set world location. In this set world location, it is asking for a location and how to move to that location. Should I sweep from the current place to the destination? This is the destination. And should I teleport from one place to another place? Should I jump directly to that destination? So it is asking for a destination. Where should I go? So we have to specify a certain location for it to go. Now, inside Unreal, there are two things. One is, there are two kinds of location. If I drag it from here, I type location, There is add relative location and set world location. There are two things: set world location, set relative location. Both of them will do two different tasks. If I set the world location, I'll show you. In the event begin play, if I set the world location and if the destination is 0, 0 and 0, then see what will happen. The moment I hit the play button, I don't have that cube in my where I have kept it earlier. It has moved to the world center. This is the world center. But currently, if I select the cube, it has some location, that is minus 708, minus 747 and 370. If I move it to the center of the world, see, this is the location. It is going 0, 0 and 0. Now in the blueprint, if I remove this connection by clicking and holding Alt and left clicking, I can remove the connection as we done in the material editor. Now if I set the relative location and the destination is 0, 0 and 0, compile and save. Now this time when I hit play, the cube is placed in that location where I had earlierly placed it. So there are two kinds of locations. One is according to the blueprint's route, and another one is according to the world center. So the set world location will set the cube's location according to the world. And the set relative location will set the location of the cube according to the route of this actor. So now that it is clear that there are two kinds of positions, now we have to decide how we want to move the cube. Should I move it in the relative or should I move it in the actual world location? So first I will show you how to move it in the relative location. So event begin play, it will execute only once, that is whenever I hit the play button. But event tick will execute each and every second. So now from the cube, I'll drag another node, and there is something called as add relative rotation. Now it is asking for a rotation that has to be added. Now you can see the difference between event begin play and event tick. I will show you the difference between these two events. Now when I connect my event begin play with add relative rotation, now this time I want the cube to rotate in Z direction. The direction is Z. Let's say if I give a angle of 45 degree, compile and save. The moment I hit play, now the cube is rotated at an angle of 45 degrees. But this is executed only once. That is, whenever I hit play, it will execute only once. But if I connect it with event tick, now see what will happen. I will change the delta rotation to around 1 degree. Now this is just for, it will tick each and every frame. So if I hit play, you can see the cube is now rotating. Each and every frame it is adding 1 to its rotation. Now do you understand the difference between event tick and event begin play? It will execute only once and it will execute each and every frame. Now that the cube is rotating, now each and every time, if I have to change the rotation speed, let's say I want the cube to rotate a little bit faster or a little bit slower. So what I have to do, each and every time I have to open the blueprint and change the value. Instead of doing this process, we have to create some public variables to control the rotation as per our need in the game. So in the my blueprint section, there is a variable part. In this variable, I will create a new variable by clicking on the plus icon. Now it has created a new variable. It is asking me to give a name. So I will give a name of rotation speed. Currently, if I select the rotation speed in the details panel, it is showing me the properties of the variable. First is the variable name. Next is the type of variable it is. It is a boolean. So I don't want a boolean variable. I have to change this boolean. So if I click on the boolean, it is showing me the variables. The major variables are on the top and the less used variables are in the subsections. So I will select a float for the variable. Next, below the variable type, there is an option called as can it be instantiated or else it is only for blueprints. I can add a tooltip. What should I display whenever I hover over this variable? Then should I expose on spawn? Means whenever I spawn it, should this variable will be exposed. So these are all the properties, and below that, in the bottom, we have our default value. What should be the default value of this speed? Currently it is 0. I will make it as 1. Next, coming back to the component section in the my blueprints, if in the rotation speed variable, beside it there is a small eye icon. That eye icon is used for making this variable public. If this eye icon is closed, that means it is not public. If it is open, that means it is public. So that option is the instance editable. So if I turn this off, the eye icon will close. If I turn it on, instance variable, the eye icon will open. So now I have a float, but this delta rotation is asking me 3 variables. So what I will do, I will split this delta rotation. How can I split this delta rotation? That is by right clicking on the delta rotation, and it is giving me three options. That is promote these three variables as one variable, that is as a vector, or else I can split this pin, or I can reset the default value. So I want to split it. So I will split this pin. Now I have X, Y, and Z, the three rotation. So now I can assign this rotation speed to the delta rotation by directly dragging and dropping on the delta rotation. Okay. Now this time when I save it, now whenever I select this cube in the details panel, I have the rotation speed variable which has been exposed. Now this time when I set it to 5 and hit play, now this time I can change the speed of the rotation, cube's rotation. If I set it to 0.2 and play, it will rotate slowly. Okay. So now the rotation you have understood. Next, how can I move this? How to move this cube? So from this cube reference, I will drag a node, that is location. Now I will select add relative location. Same as before, it is asking me for a delta location. So first I will attach it to the add relative location. From the add relative location, I will go to the, first I have to set the location, then I will set the rotation. So this is the power of blueprints. Only what I have to do is I have to connect the nodes. All these nodes I have to connect. So again we will do the same thing with the delta rotation. I will split this into a three different parts. Again I will create a variable for movement speed. Okay, this time when I hit compile and save, now see, rotation speed is the rotation speed has been made public, and the movement speed is not public, it is a private variable. So this time when I go back to my scene and select my cube, only the rotation speed is visible, but the movement speed is not visible. So whenever I hit instance editable on, compile and save, now this time I can see the movement speed and the rotation speed. Now I have to connect the rotation speed to any of the axis that I want. Z is up direction, axis left. So I will give it a movement in the left direction. So compile and save. Now this time if I add 0.1 and play, this time the cube is rotating and moving in x direction. Okay, going back to the blueprint. So this is how I can move any actor in the relative space. So if I increase the speed and the rotation, you can see it is rotating and it is moving. Next, now this is happening each and every second. We don't have any kind of control over the movement or rotation. So to get some control of the over the object, let's say whenever I press the left mouse button, the cube should move, and whenever I press the right mouse button, the cube should rotate. So for that we have all kinds of events. That is, if I search for mouse, now in the inputs we have mouse events, that is left mouse button, middle mouse button, right mouse button. All the buttons are been present. So I will get the left mouse button event, and the right mouse button event. The left mouse button and right mouse button has three properties, that is pressed and released, and the key. So this time instead of now this time I want whenever I press the left mouse button, it should move, and whenever I press the right mouse button, it should rotate. So compile and save. Now let's select the cube and give some values. For the rotation speed I will give 5, and for movement I will give 2. If I hit play, okay. If I hit play, now this left mouse button and the right mouse button, these two are inputs. So we have to enable this input for this game object. In the details panel, first we have the transformation, next the default variables that are been defined in the blueprint. Next is the rendering. Below rendering we have replication. Below that we have collision, and below that we have inputs. Now the auto receive inputs are disabled, so I have to enable the inputs. So I will set it as player 0. Now this cube is able to receive my inputs. So if I this time when I hit play, now if I press the left mouse button, you can see it is moving 2 units, and if I hit the right mouse button, it will start rotating 5 units at a time. Okay, that is how we enable inputs for each and every object. For each and every input event node, if there is any kind of input event node, that game object or the actor, that actor should receive any kind of inputs. So to enable the inputs, first you have to select the actor, and in the details panel you have to go into the input section and you have to enable auto receive input to receive any kind of inputs from the player. Now I can give any number of players. There are by default 7 players. That means 7 people can connect to one system and control this blueprint. Let's say there are 7 mouse connected, and each and every mouse has been assigned to one player. Then all those players can control the actor which has that particular player's input. If I set it as 1, the player 1 will control this cube. If I set it to player 7, the 7th player will control this cube. Rest all the players cannot control it. Whoever has the priority will get the inputs. So next, currently this cube is moving in my world. It is not doing any, means I can move it, I can rotate it, but it is not physically accurate. That means to make it physically accurate, we have to enable physics. Now it is acting as if there is no physics or no gravity in this world. So for that, we'll create another blueprint. So in my content browser, I'll create a new blueprint class. I'll select the actor class. I'll name it as physics actor. I'll open the actor. This time what I will do, in the components, I'll add a sphere. Now for the sphere, see, there are in the transformation section we have location, rotation, scale and mobility. anything that has to be moved should be kept in movable state or the movable mobility. If it is in static, if that object isn't static, so it will not execute any kind of script, it will not execute any kind of physics behavior. So in order to enable physics, first we have to set the mobility to movable. Next, we have sockets, we don't need it. Next is the what kind of mesh it is, materials. Below materials, now we have physics. In the physics section, we have simulate physics. We have to turn on simulate physics and compile it. That's it. Now this time, when I drag my physics actor inside the scene, this time when I hit play, see, it is rolling around the scene. It is acting with the physics of the world. If I put my cube, and above the cube, if I place my, if I put the sphere above the cube, this time when I hit play, it will stay above that sphere. Now, if I rotate it and place it below it, if I hit play, it will roll down that angle, it will keep on rolling. Okay. All these trees don't have any kind of collision, so it is not colliding and it is going inside those actors. So now, as you have seen that the moment I hit play, it is rolling and it keeps on rolling. It is there is as if there is no force, no frictional force. So all those things we have to add, some of the frictional force and all those things we have to add. So coming back to the physics section, there is something called as linear damping. So it is a drag force. I have to drag it. That means there should be some drag in it. So if I that the current value is 0.01, if I set it to 5 and the angular drag around, let's say, another 5, compile and save. This time when I play, now it will just roll and it will fall and it will stop. Now see, again we have set it to 0.01 and 0. I set it back to the defaults and hit play. Now it will keep on rolling without any kind of friction. To enable the friction, go back to the actor's blueprint, enable the linear damping, set it to 1 and angular to 1, compile and save. Now it will roll and it will stop, as if it has some of the frictions that is needed in the real world. So till now, anyone has any kind of doubts? Up to this point, anyone has any kind of doubt about the actors and the blueprints? Okay. So now, for an example, by default, I don't want to turn on the physics. Let's say after few seconds, when the game is running for, let's say, about 5 seconds or 10 seconds, but whatever the time I set, after those many seconds, the physics should start reacting with the physics actor or with the sphere. How can I achieve that? First, I have to get the reference of the sphere. Once I have got the reference of the sphere, now I have to enable the physics. So if I type physics, there is an option called set simulate physics. This is a simple Boolean. If it is on, it will start simulating the physics. If it is off, it will stop the physics. So if I hit compile, now to give a pause time or a delay, there is something called as a delay node. Now, whenever I start the game, the first event, that is event begin play, from event begin play, I will drag it to the delay. I will give a delay of, let's say, 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, the physics should be enabled for this game object or the actor. Now when I hit play, after turn on the simulate physics, it was off, so it was not doing anything. This time when I hit play, after 3 seconds, it will start simulating the physics. Okay, there is something called as delay node for delaying the execution of the node, or it can be said as a pause. We can pause something for a certain amount of time. So next, coming back to this blueprint, I don't want this thing to I don't want to keep it in the mouse click. I will keep it in my event tick. Now see. Now whenever I start writing little bit longer scripts or the longer blueprints, each and every time I have to drag a node which will become lengthier and lengthier. So to make it easy to understand where these nodes are going, so we have a reroute node. We will use the reroute node to organize the blueprints. Reroute node is used for organizing the blueprints. Let's say now this line or this connection is going from the cube to the add relative rotation, and it is going below the add relative location. How can I reroute it? So either I can select the route or the route and right click. In the bottom of the search option, we have a add reroute node. So I can create a reroute node and assign it. From there, I can drag it to the desired target. Now it has created me a reroute node. That is nothing but changing the route. I can create a reroute node through right clicking, and in the search bar there is a reroute node option. It will create a reroute node, or else that's another way of doing it. That is by double clicking on any of the routes or the path of the node. If I double click it, it will create a reroute node. Okay, it is used for making a clean routes. Okay, it is used for making a clean blueprint. Next, we'll see how to create a function. In the My Blueprint section, we have a function section. In this function, we have a small plus icon. If I click on the plus icon, we can create a new function. Now it is asking for the name of the function. I'll give a name as move and rotation. Compile and save. Now I want to write all this logic inside the move and rotation. So to do that, I can select all the nodes. I'll select all the nodes that are needed. I will copy it by Control C, and to open the function, double click on the function. It will open that, and I can paste it. Now that I have created that function, now instead of calling these two things, I can call the function, and it will do the same as it was doing earlier. So now this time, instead of giving a connection from event tick to this two nodes, I will give a connection to my function. So to get the function, click and drag the function inside the event graph and just attach it. Compile, save, physics actor. I don't want to do any kind of physics. Compile, save. So now this time, type play. It will execute that function. Okay. So any doubts about the variables, function, and the how to create a blueprint? Okay. 57.
Who is asking questions?
Tea break is
Voila.
తీసుకుందాం. అయిపోయింది.
India.
ఇది 11:30 వరకు.
Cover closing.
దాని తర్వాత 10:45. దాని తర్వాత లాస్ట్ okay. So till now we have seen the event tick and how to make the cube move with the mouse buttons, left mouse button and the right mouse button. Now we'll see how to use the keyboard inputs to move this cube. So now, to get any kind of keyboard inputs, First, I have to go back to the event graph, and in the event graph,
Sir,
I will type for the button E, or I can type event and in the keyboard events it is showing me all the keys. Let's say for E, if I take E, next event, W, I'll get the W, A, S and D. So I got W, next A, get the event A, event B, is S, the last one is the event D. So instead of going into the, I can take it inside the move rotation. Now move rotation is doing everything automatically. I don't want to do that automatically. So now I want 4 inputs for my function. For each and every function I want, for this function I want 4 inputs. Those are the W event, A, S and D. Okay. So I'll create a variable for X movement. I'll create X, and for the Y movement I'll create Y. So if I press W, it should move in Y. If I press S, it should go in the negative direction. If I press A, it should go in the left. If I press D, it should go in the right. That is X. So whenever I drag any variable inside the event graph, it will ask me to do 2 things with that variable. Either I can get that variable or else I can set that variable. So this time I will set the variable. So this one is X. So whenever I press A button, I should set the X as 1, duplicate, Control W, and whenever I press D, it should be set as -1. Same with Y, I have to set the Y. Whenever I press W, I should set Y as 1, and whenever I press S, it should be -1. Compile and save. Now this time for the movement I need the inputs. One is for x and is of type float. Another is for y. Compile and save. It is asking for two inputs, that is x and y. So we'll provide x and we'll provide y. Compile and save. This time when I go inside the function, in the function node, now I have x and y. So this time when I want to move for movement for the forward direction, I have to set it to the forward direction as y, and this is the speed, at what speed it should move. So now in here I have to multiply this speed with my inputs. So I will drag it from there movement speed and I will search for multiplication. So movement speed into y. This will go inside y direction. Same, control W. Movement speed multiplied by x. It will go in the x direction. Compile, save. Going back to the event. So whenever I release these buttons, I want it to set the value of y to 0. Same thing with s. Same with the x value. Whenever I release it, it should be set to 0. Compile and save. Now you have to select the actor and check for the input receive, auto input receive, player 0. Now when I hit play, now it is rotating, but it is not moving. So to make it move, if I press W, it will move in the forward direction. So the movement speed is a little bit slower. I will increase the speed at around 0.5. Now when I hit play, so I press W, it will go forward. If I press S, it will come backward. If I press D, it will go right side. If I press A, it will go left side. Okay. Now insert the movement. If I don't want that object to rotate, I'll simply press Alt and release it. I don't want that connection. Now this time when I hit play, I can move this ball. See, the ball is acting according to the physics. So any doubts with the movement and all those things? Any doubt with the blueprints? How to create a blueprint? How to make a variable? How to create a function?
Sir, one doubt that is, will the blueprint provides all the functions which are required for a VR application? That is, instead of writing the programming using C++,
Yeah,
will blueprint provide all the functions similar to that?
yeah, it will contain all the functions. Blueprints contains all the functions that is related to that particular class. Let's say if I create a blueprint with actor, it will contain all the functions related to actor. It will not contain the functions of pawn. Okay. If I create a pawn, then
Okay.
it will contain the all the functions that is already is with the actor, and it will contain extra functions which is related to pawn.
Okay. Is this blueprint will come along with the uh, uh, Unreal when we
Yeah, yeah.
purchase, or is it separate?
No, it is inbuilt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the documentation of blueprint is available in this Unreal itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Any other doubts?
Pradeep,
Yeah.
you will take photograph of participants along with you
Okay.
at the end of the session.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. At 11:30 we will take.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, coming back to the physics, coming back to the physics ball. Let's say I will enable the physics, and for the cube, I will disable the auto receive input. Now for the physics ball, whenever I hit the mouse button, it should, let's say I will make it jump. So to do that, I will add a function called as in the physics, that is add force. Now it is asking for the direction of the force, in which direction the force should be applied. So these all forces in newtons. So whenever I, let's say, press the mouse left button, mouse left button. Whenever I press it, I should add, let's say, around 5,000 volts. Sphere. I change the mass to around 1 kilo. Was around 100 kilo, which is not accurate. Let's say. Next, we select the sphere. Again, I have to enable the inputs for the sphere. I'll change it to player 0. Whenever I hit play, now, see, whenever I press the button, add a force. Okay. Till now, any doubts you can ask me. After this session, we will see how to convert the scene that we have created earlier into a virtual reality scene.
ఇందులో రావట్లా
నీకు కనిపిస్తున్నారు చూడాలి
నీకు అర్థమైంది ఎలా తీసుకోవాలా నీకు అర్థమైంది కదా అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ 8 ఈజీ అవుద్ది కంటంగా పడుతుంది
So any doubts?